Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast. My name is Connor and Karl.
And I'm Karl Stout.
And today we are covering Iron Fist 9 and a little spoiler-free Batman vs Superman review, but that'll come later. First off, because we're an Iron Fist podcast, we are going to cover Iron Fist. So Iron Fist 9 came out in November 1976 and is titled The Dragon Dies at Dawn, which is obviously inconsistent with what the last issue said. It said this issue was going to be The Dragon Dies at Midnight, now it's at dawn, so whatever, I guess. And we got a nice hideous cover.
Yeah, it's a cluster.
It just looks bad. Iron Fist is running forward in a really weird robotic fashion. He's hitting two tiger gangsters with palm strikes in his hand. Oh wait, no. One's an elbow, one's a palm strike, and they've got swords, and Iron Fist is yelling, "I'm coming for you, Chaka. All your tiger goons can't stop me. Come then, young dragon, to your doom." And the guy, Chaka, you can only see his hands, but he has a glowing triple iron staff thing.
I wonder if that's from the Hoochie Mamas he fought in earlier issues there. The daughters there of Kala, or whatever the hell it was, the cult.
Yeah.
She had the same glowing triple iron.
Because we were wondering if they popped up later, because it just sort of ends.
Or is this the triple iron from Triple Iron in the Room?
Yeah. So, Chris Claremont is the author. John Byrne is the artist. F. Chiaramonte, I hope I pronounced that right, is the inker. Jay Costanza is the letterer. B. Wilford is the colorist, and A. Goodwin is the editor. So Archie Goodwin.
Yeah, it looks like Cockrum did the cover.
So we start off with a very ragged Danny walking through an alleyway.
Quite the exhausted face going on in that second panel.
Yep. And then all of a sudden...
That's how you feel right now, right?
Wow. Friggin' Tiger Man, one of the gang members, jumps down from what looks like a staircase above him in the alley.
Fire escape.
Fire escape, yeah. And just, double knee drops into Danny's back. And the art's not bad on the first page. It looks alright. I like the colouring of the sky and stuff. It shows that it's, past 12, I guess. Yeah, past 12 at midnight. I don't know.
Or dawn. It's past midnight somewhere. In some time zone, midnight has happened.
Yeah. And there's opening paragraphs saying that Danny's running for his life, blah blah blah, the usual dramatic stuff. It's a deadly race, Iron Fist, and now you are losing it. So yeah, there's obviously been a time skip between the ending of last issue and now, because now it seems, you don't know how yet, but Danny is racing for his life, and it's, nighttime, whereas the last time we saw Danny, he was in the office of Joy Meacham, where Chaka and his goons burst in. So things
Stop jumping ahead. We're going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah, but the start of the... No. I was looking at the last page of the last issue.
Oh, well, we do have a flashback coming up.
Oh, okay. Of course we do.
If anything, they're consistent.
Yep.
So he gets jumped on from the guy from the fire escape. There's no grace in his fall. He falls like a sack of potatoes, and while the assailant recovers his feet with fluid moves of trained martial arts, "You run a good race, hero. but the odds were stacked against you. From the start, surely you knew that your execution will serve as an example for those who would defy the golden dragons. And this guy's got a pair of size on him, and he rolls right off in the classic John Byrne, multiple moves across panels.
Yeah.
Which is just great looking. Another great top of that page.
Mm-hmm.
And then he thrusts the size towards, well, it almost looks like he's going to try to blow him strike a blow to the top of his head with the base of the handle of the Scion. Iron Fist reaches up to stop him.
He does telegraph that very heavily.
Yeah. After all, if Chaka can order the killing of a superhero and pull it off, what chance would ordinary people stand against him? None, I suppose.
Considering Iron Fist is a D-lister at this point.
Yes. But I'm not dead yet, animal. What? As you were taught, young dragon, flow with the action. Be like water. Turn your opponent's attack back onto him. Let him defeat himself.
In other words, he judo throws him.
Right over his shoulders.
Yep.
Total Shatner.
Trash cans. And,
one more thing, Tiger. When I die, it's not going to be in some Manhattan back alley.
Danny essentially says after that, tell your Chaka that if he wants me dead, he'll have to do it himself instead of sending his goons.
And then he, of course, gets dizzy, grabs his head, falls down into a crumpled pile, and since his head is bothering him, that, of course, leads to flashback.
Yep. It's a warm midsummer night, but your body shivers as it lies in the garbage, tearing itself apart while your mind shifts back across the hours to last issue, where we remind you, reader, what's happening. It doesn't actually say that, but...
To this morning's confrontation with the mysterious costumed villain who'd call himself Chaka, crime lord of New York.
So Chaka is essentially demanding. He has simple demands, apparently. And he doesn't like... he's had business dealings with, Ward Meacham, which is not surprising at all. And he's been double-crossed, so he's angry. So he says, you'll give him what he wants plus interest, or his men will kill everyone in this room, slowly, one at a time, and will save your niece Joy Meacham, and you, of course, for last. So...
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe Misty will die here.
Shut up. Misty hater. You'll have none of that. She's still alive.
And Iron Fist, for some stupid reason, he's like, I can't do anything to stop Chaka without revealing my blasted secret identity, but I can't let him murder anyone either. And he puts him in a faulty he puts Chaka in a faulty arm lock, so Chaka can throw him out the window, where Danny remembers there was a ledge from the bizarre run of traps he ran into all the way back in the third issue we covered. And then he hops in, changes costume, comes upstairs. It is so stupid. And he sneaks up on the guard, knocks him out. He comes in, he blows up the wall with his Iron Fist. Uses
the Vulcan nerve pinch.
And one of the goons is like, what if it's the Avengers? And Iron Fist comes in.
Why is he breaking in like Ben Batfleck?
And they're like, Iron Fist here. And then Davos says, because Joy wants Davos to kill him, and Davos is like, I am choosing the time and place of Iron Fist's death. What matters now is getting you to safety. And Misty is remarking on how this Davos guy's almost on Iron Fist's class when it comes to martial arts. And there's too many goons here, even for a pair of Bruce Lees, wink wink, to handle. So then Misty
Knight can even the odd, and she takes a triple iron to the afro.
Gets knocked out again. We should have like a counter for how many times Misty gets knocked out.
Misty!
Because Misty does get knocked out a lot.
Yes, it's been like 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah. And so Iron Fist starts beating up Chaka. and then he gets struck with his triple iron, which is using a live wire.
Yeah, it's somehow charged.
Yeah. So now we're back to the present. Let's just talk about how stupid this is first. So for some reason, obviously this is just a product of the time in Marvel Comics. It was the norm. If you had a costume, you had to have a secret identity. You had to be Spider-Man when it came to secret identity functioning. Or at least that's what they were doing here. It's like, is it that hard to believe that, Danny doesn't have to use his Iron Fist in front of everyone. He can, he can at least fight.
Right.
I don't think people will go, oh, he can use martial arts. He must be Iron Fist.
And let's be honest, with the stack of people who are sitting at that table, the only people who didn't know he was Iron Fist were the hooligans breaking in.
No, Joy still doesn't know.
I find that hard to believe.
It literally states last issue, he talks about this, that Joy and Ward don't know that Danny is Iron Fist. Which means that they are dense, yes, but, this whole sequence is dense in a bad way, though. And he gets himself thrown, so that's one thing. He doesn't just, he doesn't just fight. He has to appear like an idiot for some reason. And then he gets thrown out the window, and he's gambling on grabbing a ledge, and it's like, no offense, dude, but you're not Daredevil. You're not Spider-Man. That could have gone really badly for you. But it didn't, and he didn't dislocate his shoulder, so anyway. It's just a whole extravagant sequence to get Danny into costume, which is just dumb. It's like, why can't he just, why can't he just do a Peter Parker and go, eek, and run out of the room and just change in the closet?
Flip the table and book.
Yeah, just act like a coward or something, I don't know.
The rich white kid ran off. Leave him.
I can't act like a coward. Yeah, I have to get myself thrown out the window. And it's like, I guess, and all the default explanations that everyone uses is like, oh, Spider-Man was just swinging by and he got me, and then threw me back in. So I guess that's what Danny will say this time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're back to the present after that insanity. And yeah, so the live wire essentially knocks Danny out.
Right. And then apparently he managed to get out with the crony came after him with the size, and now he's back up on his feet talking about how that hit gave him quite the jolt. And
he sees a police car, and he's like, hey, that can get me to a hospital. And the police car's being driven by Chaka's goons, because they have police cars.
Danny's out there like an idiot in the road, flailing his arms. They're like, look at this moron. He thinks we're cops.
It's like, well, maybe he thinks you're cops because you're flashing the police lights. And
so they attempt to run him down, and even though he's badly beaten, he still has enough strength to
jump over,
jump and flip over the car.
Yep.
Causing the car, of course, to crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then the goons get out, and another fight ensues. And he manages to take care of the two guys because, of course, they're lesser lackeys.
Yep.
But it's still, the earlier attack from Chaka is still taking its effect on him.
Yeah.
And now he flashes back to after he woke up after the electrical jolt from the triple iron. Chaka, of course, was monologuing.
Yes.
You're awake, Iron Fist. Good, very good. I want you totally aware of everything I'm going to do to you.
That sounds so bad. It really does.
Especially from a man not wearing any pants.
Yeah, but wearing a weird mask. So...
And now for some reason it looks like he's got some kind of weird mechanical thing, and then he's sticking it in his shoulder. Starting with this injection, a nerve toxin I've acquired from a contact in the army. Very quick, very painful, very fatal. Without the antidote, you'll be dead in an hour. Why aren't I dead? No, because, strange as it seems, I need you. You cost me a great deal of face in the last 2 days, beating both of my men and me. People are beginning to talk, asking if Chaka is as strong, as deadly as he used to be. You forced me to prove what I am, and the best way of doing that is by killing you in a public execution.
This is pretty much like Gladiator featuring Superman's dad, Russell
This
Crowe.
almost sounds like, something Kingpin would say to Daredevil.
Yeah. Which...
But I'm a sporting man, and you've earned the right to die like a warrior. Therefore, I will offer you the poison's antidote. I'll be waiting with it somewhere in Chinatown. All you have to do is defeat my golden tigers and then me, both in an hour's time, and this antidote will be yours.
How do I know I can trust you? And it's like, you don't, but what alternative do you have? Refuse to run my race, and we'll watch you die here like a dog. It's all the same to me. And then Danny goes, I'll run. And,
I knew you would.
Shockingly, he gives him a 5-minute head start, but shockingly, there is no antidote. And he monologues about that too.
Somehow he'll give him a 5-minute head start, and on the 6th minute, my men will attack. Each time you fight, the poison will spread more and more through your body, and there is no antidote. The prize you're running from, Iron Fool, is a vial full of tap water.
It'd be funny if he heard that.
I'm still outside the door, Damn it!
I mean, if that was Daredevil, he would have heard that, and he would have been like, hey.
Hey.
That's only part of his revenge. So there's too much at stake to risk a personal defeat at his hands. So honor dictates that it be Chaka that finally slays him, though. So remember way back, we saw Chaka's brother,
who mysteriously disappeared after someone said his name.
Well, here he is.
Tied up in a chair in another room.
Yep, and he looks like Davos.
Yes, he does. It looks nothing like the character he was 2 issues ago.
Yeah, and, the brother's, he's pissed off. He's like, you've exploited and oppressed our people, turned children against their parents, made a mockery of our traditions and heritage, and you've taken up martial training, meant to uplift body and soul, and perverted everything it stands for. And he's just ranting, I cursed it out, began to teach you. He's just like, screw you, dude, you're a disgrace. And he is a disgrace. This guy's a massive wuss.
And Chaka just throws it right back in his face. Always the lawyer, aren't you, big brother? You can never resist the opportunity to make a speech.
Speak for yourself. Every time you've been in this, you'd be making a speech.
You've forgotten what gives laws its force and meaning. Power, William, because in the final analysis, power is the only thing that matters. And Chaka apparently has some magical stone he can hypnotize people with.
It's just a mystic crystal, apparently, so...
Maybe it's the Super Soul Stone.
Oh, wouldn't that be exciting?
I'm killing myself. Do you feel my power, brother? The power of my mind amplified through this mystical crystal.
And he's getting hypnotized. Yep. And he says, you will kill Iron Fist, William Howe, and then accept the blame for that heinous murder. I will kill him. So he's...
And then it's back to your favorite person.
Oh, what the hell? I forgot about this.
A whole page of nonsense just for you to rant about.
A whole page of Alan. Oh, it's just me, Alan. I'm Irish, and Iron Fist is my best friend, and I'm gonna go to New York. Oh wait, no, he's in the port of London. It's early morning. I don't care about any of this. It's just all talking about how London is like any man could lose himself in the docks, etc., etc. I mean, if our listeners care that much, send me hate mail. And I'll eat it. I'll feed on it. I'll be like, yes.
I grow stronger every day.
So yeah, he's essentially just working on this ship.
Yeah, trying to get a job on a steamer.
Yeah, to get to New York.
Talking to the captain. He's like, okay, Kavanaugh, your papers are in order. You cut this pretty close, mister. We're sailing with the tide.
And we just alienated the Irish.
I am Iron Fist's best friend.
And then there's two people,
Bad
two
haircuts.
shady lookers, bad haircuts. It's like, looks very cozy, don't he? Yeah, one bullet from me and he could be very dead too. Why wait, Pat? Let me kill the traitor right here and now. So it's the IRA. And
Probably, yeah.
they
One
say, we've got
PM.
our orders, Tim. We're to do nothing until Alan reaches New York. And that's where he'll be dealt with. Now, okay, anyone who thinks I'm being racist by not pronouncing Irish names correctly, I'm technically an Irish citizen. So you can't pull that card on me. Just putting that there. So
It's Kavanaugh, isn't it?
I don't even know.
I'd pronounce that Kavanaugh.
I'd pronounce it beef stroganoff. But so he burns two pictures of. He burns a picture of Alan and Iron Fist. Now I don't know why he's just burning these pictures now. I guess it's symbolic. But like whatever, it's still a bit weird. And where did they get a picture of like a smiling Iron Fist in costume looking at the camera? That doesn't make any sense.
Peter
Alan's not
Parker.
smiling. Oh, he sort of is, but he's not looking at the camera.
It's because his sideburns were blocking it from his view.
Alright, well that insanity's out of the way now, that interlude. They're doing a lot of
Yes,
interludes.
One page of no purpose.
I mean, well,
Go
this
back
has
to
purpose, I
Iron
guess.
Fist. I don't think so. Maybe later, we'll find out.
Yeah, they could have done it later, yeah. Okay, so we're back to action.
And now, who is saying this in the word bubble?
I hate to say this,
Hey.
gentlemen, but if you have any plans for our hero, you'll have to stand in line. That's like the narrator, I guess. You know, when you read like the old Stanley Kirby stuff, right? He'd always just write, you know, ooh, our
Got
heroes.
to keep moving.
Yeah.
And then Fathoom. The police car goes up. Fire must have reached gas tank.
Annie, look, that explosion hurt someone. Kenny, look, it's Iron Fist. And Iron Fist is just like, help
little
me.
kids don't give. Help me, please. Now cry like Lincoln. And
The
get
mother
in.
comes out. He's like, get away from that really strange man who looks like he's on drugs in the alleyway.
Oh, Mom, Iron Fist looks like he's hurt or something. You're wrong, children. That's not Iron Fist. That's just some bum lying in his own filth. Now get inside the house.
Can't be
Mom,
both.
please don't leave. I need doctor. Poison inside. Help me. So, Iron
Channeling
Fist
the
is slowly
Shatner.
become Shatner, yep. Can't blame her. If she helps me, Chaka will punish her and children.
Oh god, give me a reading, Scotty. Yeah, Iron Fist is just like, I haven't got much time.
I
Yeah.
love that, like, he can barely stand, and then on the very next page, he's like, standing up and
Jumping up a
a
fire escape.
fire escape to get away.
Yeah, I guess.
Unfortunately, he's using all of his life force to try to heal. So this is, I guess, the explanation on why he suddenly can move.
Well, I mean, the explosion stunned him, I think. Now he's over it.
And he gets on top of a building just in time to take a triple iron or a triple nunchuck or whatever you want to call it to the chin.
Yeah.
Chaka! Ugh! On his back.
He gets sucker triple ironed as soon as he. Yeah. So Chaka is monologuing again.
Didn't I tell you we'd meet tonight, Iron Fist, and I'd let you fight me for your life? I remember. I'm just surprised to see you, that's all. Takes a lot of courage to take on a man near dead from poison.
But I'm the only one who knows you've been poisoned, fool.
To the world at large, it will appear that a crime lord has killed a superhero in a fair fight. Perhaps, Chaka. But you gotta kill him first.
And Iron Fist is essentially like, I've got to put him down fast.
And it looks like he double plants both feet into his groin.
And he mentions he can't really, the more he tries to put down Chaka, the less he has to spend on the Iron Fist. But it's like, well, dude, just take him down without the Iron Fist. It's becoming a... I'm really glad that issue at least covered, though.
No. I think he's talking about focusing the Iron Fist inward to try to
All
get the poison out of him.
Yep. So yeah, he's fighting Chaka.
And he's noticing that something feels wrong. Chaka's fighting style feels different than when we fought at Meacham's because, he fought him for like a whole 2.5 seconds.
And he's knocked Chaka back with a punch to the face, and he's essentially just sort of clutching on the side of the building now, just channeling his chi. And it's, very painful, obviously, and he's channeling it inwards to try and,
burn the poison out.
Yeah.
And now we have him, doing a full-page splash of a super concentration. It almost looks like he's on fire.
It looks really good. And, that conveys, the pain he's in as well as he's doing it. Quite
got
nice.
A cop car on the street with both doors open with the cops bursting out of the car. He's clutching to the side of the building. Chaka's laid up against the corner. Triple iron in one hand. The pain of healing of life. Now Chaka is up above him swinging the triple iron. That sound, swirling of triple irons. Must be Chaka about to strike. Must strike first or die.
And now this is interesting. So he lashes out and hits Chaka.
With his eyes closed, mind you. He's just swinging wildly at the direction of the noise.
Then Chaka goes flying into the thing, and then a mysterious figure whips out a triple iron and knocks him in the temple as he hits the pillar with a cathode. And it's revealed, and Iron Fist goes, "Heart of the Dragon, I didn't mean to hit him so hard. My Iron Fist held him into that chimney," and he's barely breathing. Danny's
pulls off his mask. Just in time for the cops to bust in through the door.
That's strange. There's no blood on the chimney and no brick dust on his mask, because Iron Fist tried to check. He pulled his punch at the last second. And then, And then cops bust down the door and they go, "Freeze, killer! Make a move and you're dead."
Dead.
Next issue, Iron Fist finds himself hunted by police and Golden Tigers both in the story we could only call Kung Fu Killer. Now the next issue has an amazing first page, so look forward to that.
Now also, I didn't notice this until we got to the scene where, the mystery man with the other triple iron basically looks like he killed the imposter Chaka, but the imposter Chaka is not wearing the gauntlet style armbands.
Oh yeah.
And is the belt different too?
Now
Gotta go back now.
That bit though, I think it just would have been fine if Iron Fist did hit him too hard. It just seems very contrived having the triple iron come out that really awkward angle at that precise time to hit the imposter in the head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just feels very contrived and silly. So overall it was a decent issue. It was entertaining. It was action packed. It was still bang for your buck. A lot of content. It wasn't up to scratch with some of the better stuff in the series, but it was readable. It was enjoyable. As I say, good action, decent art.
It's a filler issue.
Yeah, it's a filler issue full of fighting though, and it's you're getting an Iron Fist comic. That's what you want in filler issues. You want fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So
with the contrived plot, thing from most spy movies.
Yeah. Now you can pick this issue up in the Iron Fist Epic Collection, or you can pick it up in the Marvel Masterworks of Iron Fist Volume 2, which is volume 185 overall in the Marvel Masterworks. It's also in the Iron Fist Essentials. You can obviously pick up the single issue for varying prices. Depends where you go, I guess, and the quality, and all that stuff.
And it's anywhere from $5 to $35.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the so next week. When's issue 3 of Power Man and Iron Fist come out?
I don't think that's until the second week of next month.
Okay, so next week we'll be covering the next issue of Iron Fist then. If possible. The podcast has turned into a weekly is ideal, but sometimes fortnightly sort of schedule. So, because it's hard to organise this stuff sometimes.
But adulting is rough.
Yeah. Yes. Did you see Dave's post as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's also not doing well.
Yeah. But
But fortunately for him, he's got like 100 podcasts in the bucket. He can just go, I'm just going to put this one up again. You can't
pretty
do
much.
that
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that covers the Iron Fist portion of the show. Do you have any thoughts, Carl?
yet. Not really. I mean, it was
It's okay.
an okay issue.
Yeah.
It was it still by far was not bad. Let's just put it that way.
There was a couple of bits where I was like, come on, like the triple iron thing at the end and the that changing of costume in the office. I hated that. But other than that, the issue was fine.
Yeah, but you love Misty Knight getting knocked out.
It's not like that Iron Fist issue where it looked like he was fighting a sad crash test dummy half the time. That Iron Man issue, yeah, it's just...
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Awesome.
Alright, so I guess now we'll diverge a bit.
Totally geek out and give you guys a quick little spoiler-free review of Batman versus Superman, which, yes, we know isn't even the same company, but we all need to get along.
And the other thing is, if you've listened to this podcast this much, you know, we've talked about Superman and Batman a lot, so...
Yes, Connor is a huge Superman fan.
Oh, yeah, huge Superman fan.
I used to be a huge Batman fan when I was younger. Believe it or not, I actually stopped reading Batman. I was getting all the Batman titles, and then they went and broke his back. And for me, that was my dropping off point. I was just disgusted. And it wasn't even because the story was bad, because it wasn't. It's just like they brought in someone else to be Batman, and being the fanboy I was, that was just too much for me. Batman's Bruce Wayne. It can't be anybody else.
Could have been worse. He could have died.
True. But, then they would have just found him, 10 years later in a plant pod, and everything would have been fine again. And I would have been happy with that.
I mean, that's the same with Batman. Do you remember... Oh, actually, no, we're going to go way off tangent if I go down that road. Short story is, though, he gets zapped by Omega Beams, but at the last second he gets sent back through time to, like, pirates or something, and he somehow comes back through history. It's the dumbest crap ever. But anyway, so, yeah, the movie.
We both, for better or for worse, we both enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We didn't love it. We didn't think it was the greatest comic book movie ever made, but we will fight you on the fact that it was not the worst comic book movie ever made by a long shot.
Yeah, definitely. It's
not a mess.
It's not a good movie. Technically, it's not a good movie. It's a mess of scenes. Half of the movie is like a half-written Man of Steel sequel, and the other half of the movie is like a Justice League setup and pointless plot tangents. That's the only way I can describe the plot of the movie.
It is an edited mess. It went back for reshoots, according to my source, like 7 times.
Yeah.
Adding more Batman to it because they wanted to see more Batman, and there's a whole lot of Batman in this movie.
And that's the thing, it's like, what Batman would they have added? Because the only, like, most of the good Batman bits were the ones that were relevant to the plot, because, like, Ben was good as Batman. He wasn't a standout for me just because I knew he would be good, if that makes any sense. But there's scenes in the movie with Batman, and it's like, I've seen this in the Dark Knight trilogy really recently. I don't need to see it again.
Mm-hmm. I have to wonder if one of the things they added was... Now, this isn't really a spoiler because they leaked this footage a while ago, but that huge fight scene, and I'm not going to say what the fight scene is about because that could be a spoiler.
Definitely.
But that huge fight scene where he comes up against like 10 guys in a room and he comes up through the floor, I wonder if that part was initially added because the original scene just dealt with maybe a guard outside and then the other people in the room he was trying to get into.
I can't imagine that's a scene they would have added. I felt like that would have been in there. Because that was definitely one of the best Batman scenes.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the scene everybody and their brother's talking about. They're not even really talking about the battle between him and Superman. It's all that scene.
Because the battle between him and Superman, this is minor spoiler territory. It only lasts about like 2 or 3 minutes, and they don't build it up that much at all. Like, you'd think from the start of the movie it would focus on that, but it doesn't, and that's what hurts the movie a lot. You call it Batman v Superman, but it's not even about that, really. Like,
it's more Bruce Wayne versus Superman for an hour and a half. Batman versus Superman for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and even then, Bruce Wayne's not really doing anything to plot against Superman for like the first hour of the movie, which is part of the reason it feels so unfocused, because he's just doing this thing which eventually leads into the plot, but it's just like, It
is a good flashback, though.
Yes. Oh, with the Man of Steel flashback?
Yes, it's a good Man of Steel flashback, and it gives a fantastic direction to Bruce Wayne's initial hate.
Yeah. And the problem is they didn't run with that, though.
No.
They opened it up like that. Yeah.
It would have been fantastic if they kept running with it.
Well, because then the movie would have had focus. Because Superman's half of the plot, right, is all about how the world is, like, mistrusting him and stuff, and he's just, he's essentially just being Superman. And, and if Batman's plot, was actually relevant to that, because that's how it was set up to be, but it wasn't, and it just was really weird. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is not Batman's fault. Like, this is the writing, editing, directing, whatever. I mean, it went through rewrites and reshoots. Just sounds like a mess. And
yeah. Now, what? I just blanked on his name. What's the actor's
Henry
name?
Cavill?
Superman. Henry and Ben both do fantastic jobs.
Yeah. In fact, if like you're a Batman or Superman fan, that is reason to see the movie, because they both really kill the roles.
Yes.
In fact, that's easily the best thing about the movie is the acting from the two leads. They really sell the characters, and
there's someone else I would add to that list.
Is this Lex?
No, God, no.
Oh, because I didn't mind Lex, but I guess we'll get to that.
Jeremy.
Oh yeah, Alfred is amazing. He's not in it that much, but yeah, Alfred's great. It's Jeremy Irons, and he kills it, obviously, and it's a different Alfred as well. So,
which is what we need to see. We need to see the MI5 Alfred in action. This is the Alfred who gets his hands dirty. He's not. They don't even show him Butler, I think, in this entire film.
Which is why I did not need to see a 5-minute Batmobile chase scene, which looked exactly like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, that was very, very Nolan-esque.
I actually got bored during that scene, and it's like, I should not be getting bored during this movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I found bits of this movie dull. Specifically with Wonder Woman. It's the most...
Should we even go into that?
I'm just gonna say, if you're excited about Wonder Woman, don't get your hopes up too high, because she's not in it much, and when she is, it is the most shoehorned crap. The plot would have progressed the exact same way if she wasn't in the movie, and she actually detracts from some important scenes later on.
Honestly, being the fact that I'm in my mid-40s, I grew up watching Wonder Woman on television. Watching Linda Carter. She's been a part of my superhero upbringing, just like the Hulk was, just like the original Batman series was with Adam West. I mean, these are the things that got me into comics. So Wonder Woman rates pretty high up there, and the Wonder Woman, unfortunately, that you get in Batman versus Superman is nice to look at, and that's about it.
I mean, to be fair, she doesn't get to do much.
No.
So, but that being said, people praising her performance and stuff, it's like, what performance?
People are praising her acting. She's got like 5 lines.
And they're all the Batman. She never talks to anyone else. And yeah, it just felt very forced to me. And this is obviously, if you're going in blind, like completely blind, turn off the podcast here. But if you're not, if you've seen the trailers, then in the Doomsday fight, she takes away from it because with her there, Batman doesn't have anything to do. They could have had a cool, Batman and Superman teaming up dynamic with Doomsday, different aspects of the fight and stuff. But with her there, it was pretty much just Wonder Woman and Superman versus Doomsday, and Batman was just going, not doing much. And that's the other problem, actually. There's a couple of points in this movie. Okay, so we got Superman, right? He stays in character. He's fine. Actually, I'll cover that right now. If you liked Man of Steel, you'll love Superman in this movie. He's classic John Byrne-esque Clark Kent. He's a great Superman. He sells it. He saves people. He's just trying to do the right thing. It's a really good performance. And if you didn't like Man of Steel and you had problems with like all the destruction and stuff in that, watch this movie because the movie does go out of its way to answer those questions and make Superman look a lot more responsible, I guess. Even though in Man of Steel is his first day on the job, but that's for another podcast. So, but the point I was going to get to before all this was, like, Batman. There's a couple of points in the movie where he acts really dumb and out of character. And that bugged me.
Well, he does quite a few things that are pretty much out of character. He brands villains.
Well, that's not out of character for Batman in this movie, though. I'm talking about like things that are just inconsistent with him within this movie. Like, I get the branding villains thing because of the whole implied Robin stuff. This Batman's at the end of his rope. He's a psychopath. Well, he's a criminal. He's he's ruthless.
Come on, say it. Say what you called him to me.
Maniac?
No.
Moronic maniac?
MB.
MB. Manchild?
Murder bat.
Oh, I didn't say that, did I?
Yes, you did. You texted it to me.
I had no problem with him murdering people, though. Like, in general, I have no problem with Batman killing people, but in this movie specifically, I definitely had no problem with him killing people.
All right, here's something. Also, in this movie, originally, I guess Barbara Gordon was going to be making an appearance, and her scenes got cut, but it will be on DVD release. That's the thing, is we both enjoyed this film. Again, we didn't love it, but we liked it.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a DVD purchase for me.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because there's probably going to be like 3 hours of cut footage.
I just want the Superman statue. Like, have you seen that? It looks awesome.
No.
You can get they're expensive,
July.
but you can get like a Batman version or a Superman version. You get like a statue of the respective character.
Amy Adams, I thought was, who plays Lois Lane, was actually better in this movie than she was, in my personal opinion, than she was in Man of Steel.
I've still found her a bit meh. I feel like she's not...
I said better, not perfect.
That's true. I mean, she was more relevant to the plot in this movie, and she does more stuff in this movie. But she still doesn't really have the fiery thing that Lois Lane should have.
No.
Which is a shame, because I know Amy Adams can do the fiery performance.
Mm-hmm.
But she's... yeah.
Diane Lane was again perfect in her role.
I wish she was in it more.
Yep, Martha Kent kicks butt again. Holly Hunter did a fantastic job as the congressperson.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else?
We're avoiding the elephant in the room here.
Saving that for last. Oh, Lawrence Fishburne. Again,
oh yeah, Perry White. Yeah, he's good.
Perry White. I love the fact that he was getting in Clark's face.
Yeah, him and Clark are just getting into each other's face. Pretty funny. The reference, this isn't 1938, man. Journalism's not about, good things. So I enjoyed that. Yeah, Perry had a couple of good lines. It was good. Uh,
And I don't
General
know if any.
Swanwick is back. He's a senator now, though, from Man of Steel.
Mhm.
Emil
Yep.
Hamilton is still presumed dead, unfortunately, which sucks.
Speaking of presumed dead, did you hear the statement from the
Yeah,
director?
let's wait till this spoiler review though for that
Even though
one.
it's out there all over the place?
Yeah,
All right.
because that yeah. So let's get to Lex, shall we?
Oh, can we just skip that part?
I mean, I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was that good.
For me, the problem with the previous Lex is like Kevin Spacey was great, but he had the job of he had to be Gene Hackman's Lex, and Gene Hackman's Lex is like probably the worst Lex I've ever seen in anything ever. Like he's just dumb, goofy, stupid, and you know
The whole thing with Gene Hackman's Lex, and unfortunately, Kevin Spacey had to follow suit.
yeah, which is such a waste.
Every time that Lex Luthor is introduced, he has one purpose.
Real estate.
Exactly. It's always been about real estate with that Lex.
And, well, that Lex, he just isn't very threatening. Like, well, I mean, Kevin Spacey got pretty threatening at the end of Superman Returns, but, you know, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex, he was smart, and he was ruthless, and he was evil. And for me, you know, if you have Lex Luthor as a Superman villain in a Superman movie, he has to be as evil as Superman is good. Which is...
I didn't have a problem with anything you just mentioned. I had a problem where they made him a little bit too off the hook aloof. A lot of people
Yeah, he was unhinged.
have commented that his performance would have probably been better for the Riddler, which somebody out there said he actually wanted to do, is he didn't want to be Lex Luthor. He wanted to actually be the Riddler.
That is interesting.
So I don't know if he tried to bring that into his performance of Lex or not. I don't know.
I mean, I guess for me, it's not the ideal Lex, but for me, it worked within the movie, and he was dangerous and ruthless, and like that's enough for me. I didn't expect much. I just wanted better than Gene Hackman. I just wanted someone who I knew could really mess up Superman's day. And he does.
Just the sheer fact that he, on several occasions in the film, shows just how actually powerful he is by what he does and is not questioned.
And he does one of the most evil things in this movie.
Where the whole Hackman Spacey thing is like he has his 5 or 6 goons, and these guys will do whatever he says because they're his goons. This Luthor will just do shit, and the entire U.S. government will just go,
all right,
yeah, we're going to go over here now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he definitely was a bit too unhinged to me, especially in his last scene. I don't know what to make of that. But, yeah.
Last scene, or last scene on a roof?
Last scene.
Okay.
So, yeah. I guess overall, I recommend you go watch the movie. Judge for yourself. Don't listen to the critics. I don't think it's a good movie, but I enjoyed it, and it's worth seeing just for Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. If you want to see Batman and Superman on the big screen, well, I mean, hey, here it is. They're great together. They have great performances. Their scenes are good. The problem is just the movie itself, really. So,
yeah, if you can wait, it's coming out in July.
Okay.
And so in July you can either, see it for $1.25 from a Redbox, or do you even have Redbox in Australia?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know what Redbox is?
I don't know.
Redbox is pretty much a Coca-Cola vending machine, except it spits out DVDs.
Oh yeah, we have something like those, yeah.
Okay. And they're everywhere now here in the United States. And the funniest thing is, when they first came out, they offered to sell their entire company to Blockbuster Video, which was the largest company out there nationwide that had all these video rental places. Yeah. And Blockbuster Video laughed in their face and said, whatever, you'll be gone. Needless to say, there's now red boxes everywhere, and Blockbuster Video is gone. But yeah, again, July, it's coming out on DVD. You can rent it for $1.25 out of a vending machine, or you can probably buy a somewhat deluxe version with all the missing footage for $20, and for however many more dollars you can get the
missing footage apparently
version.
Includes a scene with Zod. And I mean, hey, who didn't love Zod in Man of Steel, right? So.
And as for the leaked scene, well, it's not leaked. They put it out there because this movie is such an edited mess. 3 days after the movie came out, they put out a cut scene to explain what happened, because you're just left scratching your head in the movie.
Which is just bad. It's so sloppy. I mean, this movie had so much money and stuff behind it, so much talent. Like, I loved Man of Steel. Zack Snyder did such a good job on that, and he just really dropped the damn ball here. And I'll say, if you're a huge Man of Steel fan, and you're looking for a Man of Steel sequel, you're going to get elements of that, but ultimately this isn't it. So don't walk in expecting a good follow-up. There's a good follow-up in terms of Superman's character, I guess, but it's just, go in with low expectations.
This was pretty much just an introduction to the new Batman. And forcing other people in for a Justice League movie.
For me, it felt like it was trying to be a Man of Steel follow-up, an introduction to the new Batman, and they could have had those two work seamlessly together, right? Like, those two things could have gone hand in hand. But for some reason, they didn't. And all the Justice League stuff is pretty damn forced. Like, I downloaded like a podcast yesterday, and they had like a 10-minute interview with Zack Snyder, and then like a 20-minute one with the producers, and they talked more about the Justice League than the damn movie itself. And the podcast was supposed to be about the movie, and they said even we wanted to put more Justice League stuff in there, but we felt it would have been too cluttered. And this was recorded before the movie came out, by the way. So it's just, they're just trying to rush this Marvel crap. Man of Steel worked so well because it was focusing on one character. And just, it was focusing on its own narrative arc. This movie should have been Man of Steel 2 featuring Batman as, Luthor's pawn.
Can we mention what they tried to initially do without making it a spoiler?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, so.
Well, there would be a certain Superman storyline combined with a certain Frank Miller miniseries.
Oh, you got me, man. You may as well spit it out. If it's a spoiler, I'll just cut it out.
It's what they initially tried to do, and I don't know if this got cluttered later with the fact that the producers came in and said, hey, let's make this, the introduction to the Justice League by adding all this extra crap. But initially, this was Death of Superman.
Yep.
Combined with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns.
I mean, yeah. We'll get into that more with our spoiler review.
Yeah, the battle with the armor is straight out of Miller.
I'll say this as well. The only bits that are similar to Dark Knight Returns in this movie are visually similar. Thematically, besides strung out Bruce Wayne, it's not. I mean, Superman is definitely not a lackey for the government in this.
No.
Thank God, because that was
awful. But they are butting heads, which causes the fight.
Yeah, but they're not butting... Because if this was a Man of Steel sequel, right? Because originally they wrote the Man of Steel sequel. It was going to... Have you read Lex Luthor, Man of Steel, the Lex Luthor miniseries?
No, you're the Superman fan.
Okay,
I mean.
well, there's the Lex Luthor miniseries where he's like, oh, Superman's a god, I hate him, blah blah blah, and then there's like Superman Peace on Earth where he tries to fix the world's problems and just fails miserably. Now they were going to combine those two into a movie, and they added Batman into it. I'm like, perfect, because Batman can like serve as, because he's in Lex Luthor Man of Steel, and he serves as Lex's pawn against Superman, and this would have been a great way to introduce Batman as well, like the new Batman. And I mean, that's almost what the movie was, and the movie probably would have been that if they had the emphasis on the Batman v Superman from the start, but they didn't. They just, for some reason, they couldn't follow their own damn title. Well, they definitely followed the Dawn of Justice part, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll probably do a bonus episode just doing like a full spoiler review in a week or two, once everyone's had time to see it, because there's a lot to talk about. So even the spoiler-free one's gone for like half hour. So
yeah, the movie's 2.5 hours long. We could probably do a 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, I actually just listened to a 3-hour podcast about Man of Steel, so it's definitely not out of the question. Okay, so I think we've gone on for a while. You get our thoughts on the movie. Go see it, or wait for it to come out. Either way, just see it. Batman, Superman, both great. So yeah.
Other people,
Yeah, other people, other parts of the movie, the movie itself, but Batman and Superman are good. So,
and Alfred.
And Alfred. And you know what the biggest crime in this
And
movie
Martha.
is? And Martha.
Wonder Woman.
No, it could have been so good.
Oh yeah,
And they just,
it could have been unbelievable.
they messed it up so bad.
How much you want to bet the original cut was unbelievable? Before, reshoots 1 through 7 happened.
I know Wonder Woman and Batman and the Justice League setup, that was actually Zack's idea, so that's on him. But as to how much of it, I'm not sure. But he did push Wonder Woman in, so yeah. Anyway, so next week we'll be covering the next Iron Fist issue, and we'll probably be doing a bonus episode at some point, just covering Batman vs Superman. And yeah. Well,
Thanks for
sayonara.
listening. Take it easy. Peace.
Alright, see you guys. Bye. Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney, and any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders, and we do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, send us anything you want really, even if it's not about Iron Fist. And if you don't want it read out on the air, just mention that. You can also reach us at Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon, our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast, our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon with hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor and Karl, just search Iron Fist Podcast on YouTube and you'll find us real quick. And then there's our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. We are also on iTunes. Feel free to rate us there. If you rate us less than 5 stars, well, just tell us what we're doing wrong and we'll try and improve that. And last but not least, we are on Podcast Garden in the literature section. And thanks to Thomas Tissoff for the theme song at the start. And thanks.